Welcome to Unfiltered and Unstoppable with Rob Romsburg. Real strategies for real advisors, a podcast that dives into what it takes to scale a thriving financial practice. Each week, we'll discuss actionable strategies, tools, and insights to keep you ahead in today's financial landscape. From innovative products and powerful marketing tactics, you'll get unfiltered truth and unstoppable strategies. Let's get started by building your unstoppable financial practice today.
What if the fastest way to grow your business has nothing to do with marketing? Meaning not better ads, not better scripts, not even better products. What if the real growth unlock was sitting right inside of your community? And unfortunately, many of us, many advisors walk right past it because we think that the growth comes from getting more, when in reality, uh, growth comes from giving. And today we're going to challenge each and every single one of you, everything that you think you know about building a bigger business. But this is not about charity. This is about identity. It's about impact. And yes, ultimately, this is about growth. Welcome back to Unfiltered and Unstoppable. I am your host, Rob Romsburg. Today's conversation is going to be totally different than anything that we've ever done before. It is not going to be about closing more cases, not even about running better appointments. This is about what the elite advisors, what they truly understand. And it's all about your role in the community. And I've got Bill with me today. And Bill, you have leaned into this in a big way through what we call Gradient Gives Back. And but before we really dive into what you've done, first of all, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me.
It is such a pleasure to have you here, Mr. Professional in the radio slash podcast world. I'm going to admit I'm a little intimidated.
Huh.
So let me ask you something a little deep here to start this thing out. When you think about the advisors who are struggling right now, meaning not struggling with knowledge, not struggling with products, but really struggling with connection. What do you think they're missing?
Well, I think, our show is all about today, or your show here, about the give back, right? The community involvement. And I do believe that's very, very important. You did mention earlier, it's not about charity, but no, I disagree. It's about charity. I mean, truly. Right. And many of us have been blessed with the ability to give back. So that's one piece, right? But then also how it affects our business, how it affects our relationships in the community, how it affects our relationships with our clients and our relationships with ourselves and our family, really. And I think that's so important. So, what people are missing I think on that side right there is the the desire. So it's one thing to write a check, right, to an organization, whatever it may be, but it's another thing to really truly get involved in that, and getting involved. I'm not talking about maybe a whole sponsor, and you have your sign up on whole nine or whatever. I don't think
Right.
that's going to do a whole lot. I think it's great that you're giving back and it's going to generate some revenue for that charity and all that fun stuff. But the way we look at it, it's a little bit different. We want to really get involved with the actual sponsors, like the head people of that charity.
Mhm.
What's going on? So here in Omaha, and we'll talk about Gradient Gives Back, which is incredibly important, so fun, and we had an amazing experience. But when you talk about how we give back here in Omaha, there's a local food. Uh, they're able to get food from restaurants or say a convention center, and if they don't use all the food that they were planning on using for that event, because many times if we go to a gala, a gradient gala or whatever it may be, you don't want to run out of food,
Yeah. Right.
right? That's not a good thing. And so a lot of times there's extra.
Mhm.
And so whatever is not not used or whatever hasn't been uncovered gets to get redistributed. So it might here in Omaha, it might go down to the Stevens Center or some type of a mission, right, where it's feeding hungry. And so for us to get involved in a program like that is fantastic. So it's one thing again to give, but it's another thing to really get involved with their founders, their people,
Right.
the people that are working it every day and want to be there. Another one, Cornhusker Bank, one day without shoes or a day without shoes. We collect shoes. People bring shoes into our office. We have a big collection bin, and they come and they'll put shoes in. And it doesn't have to be brand new shoes, but lightly used shoes. It could be brand new, whatever. There are so many people that are out there that simply don't have shoes,
Right.
whether they're adults or whether they're kids.
Mhm.
But it's not just donating a pair of shoes to it, right? Or donating $100 or whatever the number is. We're putting a collection bin. We're getting on social media. We're all getting on the radio. We're all over the place talking about what this day without shoes is going to do with Cornhusker Bank,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
who it provides. And so for us, it allows us not only to really get involved and and walk the talk, right? But it also is letting the community know that we do care.
Right.
And so that's I think that's really important, Rob.
You hit the nail on the head. It's all about connection, right? Um, the advisors that I see that are struggling, they might be doing the same seminars as you and the same appointment process as you and having the same products, but where they struggle is that they're disconnected.
Mhm,
And the thing that I've seen is that they don't even realize it. That they're running a business, but not really rooted in anything. Th- they're showing up, they're doing the meetings, and then they're going home. But does the community even know that they are there, or are they invisible in the community? And unfortunately, because of that, they're forgettable. And man, that's a strong word, forgettable.
mhm,
And if we just sit around and think about that for a second, if your community doesn't feel you, right? Like they don't know you, and definitely if they don't know you, they can't trust you. And guess what? If they're not sure they can trust you, you're not even an option. You're just someone else taking up space. Let me ask you this, Bill. When do you and I'm sure you know this. When was the last time someone in your community talked about you when you weren't in the room? I'm sure you've heard about
huh.
that in a good way.
Yeah, so a great question. Yeah, hopefully on a fairly regular basis. I mean,
Right.
we're incredibly involved.
Right.
And so I do hear it all the time, and we talk to people, and we talk to clients. We had a client on our radio show actually this week. He's been a long-term client, and he's a big give back person to Nebraska athletics and different
Yeah.
things. And hopefully that message, and that's the whole deal, is that's what you want to resonate with,
Hmm.
right? And I want people out there talking. I want people out there talking about what we do and who I am. And and again, yeah, like you said, I want it to be good. I want it to
Yeah.
be nice. I think that's pretty important. But
Sure.
I think it's also really important that, like I said, you're feeling it so often back. I mean, this has to go back 20 years, Rob, or so, but it was Gary Sickles that told me
Mhm.
to not worry about my paycheck, quit worrying about my paycheck.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I'll never forget that. And I think that has so many meanings too. And at that point, I didn't really know. All I know is I kind of needed to worry about it,
Yeah.
right? But I also had this guy that was very successful that was telling me not to worry about it.
Sure.
And so, of course, I'm going to follow that lead because there's a reason that he got to where he was. And I don't believe it was a trust fund.
Right.
Right. And so I stopped worrying about that. But then the meaning, and so you quit worrying about that because you worry about your clients.
Hmm.
That was the key right there.
Yeah. Right.
Was number one, what is John going to do? How is John going to retire? What's the best possible product or solution or plan for John? What's going to solve his problems? because John's problems are different than Rob's problems and
Right.
different than Bill's problems and different than they have a different family dynamic and different things going on and different wants and needs and desires and what they care about and what they're passionate about, right? So every single person, that's why our business is so wonderful because we have this,
Mm.
first of all, it's a fantastic melting pot, but we have the brick and mortar situation where whether or not you have an office or you don't have an office, you get to actually go to people and help them out.
Sure.
People are like, oh, our job's going to go to AI. We're going to lose it. Everything's going to go away. But me, and I'll tell you what, I love talking to my State Farm people.
Yeah.
And I know could I go online and and that's weird to say. I love talking to my State Farm people.
All right.
It truly, I mean, me being able to make a call over to Jody
Mhm.
and saying, hey, Joe, and she picks up the phone and a person that picks up the phone. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
And it's like, today when we were on a show earlier, we had Dr. Abel saying, and they pick up their phone. He said it. It wasn't prompted.
Yeah.
He said, and they pick up their phone, and a live person talks. And how amazing is that? So you get to have that passion, but you quit worrying about that. You worry about your people. But then it's like, what else do they worry about? What else does Bill care about? What else does Rob care about? Well, I care about, food insecurities. I think that's important. I like food, right? And I've been fortunate to have food,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of people that don't have shoes. Well, that's pretty important, right? And housing. Talk about Gradient gives back and housing. I mean, we're really, really lucky here. I mean, we are in. People can debate that if we're in the best country in the world, but I truly feel that we are.
Yeah.
Right. And so we're put here in this place to be able to give back. And so we can show that in our business, right? And then other people see that we actually care and they want to work with us because we care.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, Bill's doing that. We want to kind of jump on board. We like that. And so many of our colleagues that are around the country that work with you, Rob, and I get to communicate with a regular basis. They do, whether it's Toys for Tots, and they have, Al that has Marine, over in Michigan, he has the Marines that come and pick up the toys from his big Christmas party and all the golf tournaments and all the different things around there. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Right. And he's doing it because he absolutely loves doing it and he wants to give back.
Right.
But also, what's it showing his clients? We just did recently, Rob. We did a March Madness thingy,
Bracket.
or whatever you call it, bracket. Thanks, office. Jakey set it up. One of the young guys, and so Jakey set it up, and all the bunch of clients joined in it, and we're giving away, and so we're doing charitable donation for each one of the top three.
I love
it. Number one gets a bigger one, number two, number three, but they get to pick that charity of their choice.
Yeah.
And so it's that give back piece that makes us feel good. We know that's why we're here. This is why God put us here, I think, right? Because we're just stewards of what we have. Is it really ours? I mean, when we die, doesn't it kind of die with us? I mean, yeah, it goes on to the family, but don't we want to teach our family? Don't you want to teach your kids, what we do and why we do it?
Yeah.
And then again, that shows everybody else and shows the community. And and then people want to work with you because of that. I do feel that, but that's not why we do it.
Right.
I'm not doing it for marketing. I'm not doing it for the business. I'm doing it to help, and then it also shows people who we truly are.
Yeah. I've been to a number of your client appreciation events and participated with you in regards to the Gradient Gives Back. And that's how I know that your name is mentioned in many rooms that you aren't in. And it's not because of your returns, not because of your office, although they are wonderful and great, but more importantly because of the impact that you and your firm have with the community, because of how many different types of opportunities that you are involved in with giving back to your community. And that's where all of this shifts, and in our world, if I'm an advisor, I can define myself as, I manage money and I help people retire, and technically and factually that is true. But when you started to move beyond that, Bill, like how do you see your role now?
How do I see my role in the company here?
In the company,
In the
dealing with
community?
in the community, Yeah,
Yeah.
primarily in the community. How do you see your role?
Well, yeah. Well, I'll start within the company. So
Okay.
instead of working in the business, I'm going to go from a chairman. I think this might have been chairman talking about this.
Uh-huh.
Instead of working necessarily in the business day in and day out, into intricacies, it's more of working on the business, right? And how we're viewed and what's going on, that 10,000 or 30,000 foot view.
Yeah.
In the community, it's making sure that we are in the best possible light and people, because, you know, you know, I don't want to say what we do isn't special, or better than someone. I feel that we are. I feel that we definitely have an upper hand. We're not married to any one company. We have all the insurance companies to offer, and we look for the best rates and the best products and the best of all that. On the security side, same type of deal. We're only working in the client's best interest, and you really allow us to do that, Rob. I mean, your company, Gradient, and the whole Gradient group and the family of companies allows that to happen. And it allows us to stand out because we can pull it up on the computer and we can say, here's an annuity rate watch, and here's the number one company, here's the best rates out there. There's all the companies. It's not a secret. And people are like, wow, that's pretty cool, right? And they're not trying to just pigeonhole us into something or what pays the best or whatever the situation is. We're really working in their best interest. I want to show that. I want to be out there and show that. So what's amazing is, yeah, we have a lot of the same products and services that other people have, but how do we work and how do we communicate with our clients? How do we, the empathy that we show them, back to what I was saying earlier, when, when somebody comes in and, Martha comes in with her husband and they have little Johnny and whoever else, in their family, are we treating them the same as the 9 o'clock appointment that was there an hour and a half before?
Right.
Or are we treating them like them and their own people? Because
Mhm.
that's who they are, because they're
Right.
not like the 9 o'clock people.
100%.
Right. So my goal in the community is to help people understand that, get out there, be involved, work with our leaders in charitable organizations and show them that, hey, we're here and this is what we do and this is how we want to help, and we actually do care. And we're not just doing it for the marketing. I'm
Sure.
not just showing up, dropping off a check.
Yeah.
Here's my name. Come meet with us, and then I take back off. We truly try to get involved.
And for those that are listening right now, this is where you should really be leaning in, because this is the difference between the average advisor is just managing portfolios, whereas the elite advisor is building a presence, meaning building a presence in the community. And your presence, that's what's driving everything, right? And so if you're the advisor who feels like, man, I feel like I'm doing everything right, I'm doing all the right marketing, but just for whatever reason we're not growing the way I think that we should. This is why. You are simply operating as an individual or as a firm that provides a service, as opposed to being a community leader. And that's what Bill is talking about here today, is how he and his firm, that they are known as the leaders in their community, because of all of the different options that they are involved in. So let's go ahead and connect the dots here. And this is where everything, in my opinion, will come together. The Gradient Gives Back Foundation exists for one reason: to support families in your communities when, let's just say, life hits them out of nowhere. And we're not talking about just your clients. We're talking about those within your community, anyone. So families dealing with a medical diagnosis that shut everything down, a job loss that no one saw coming, an accident that changes everything overnight. And what you probably don't realize is that it's not necessarily the event that is breaking the people. It's all of the pressure that follows afterwards. Meaning, the bills, the mortgage, the waking up in the middle of the night. How are we going to make this all work? On top of the loss, that's what makes the break happen. On top of the loss, and that's the beautiful thing about Great Eight Gives Back. That's where Great Eight Gives Back steps in. Not coming in with advice, not with a plan, but more importantly with action. So as an example, Bill, I know you covered up to 12 months of your family's mortgage. And for those that are listening, let that sink in, man. Let that sink in. That 12 months of mortgage, that's not a temporary fix. That's not something small. We are talking about real stability, um, real breathing room, real relief. And so, Bill, would you and your firm stepped into that for that for your family? What actually happened? What actually happened?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. The backstory is an explosion. There was an explosion at a plant here, a manufacturing plant here in
Yeah,
Omaha.
yeah.
And he was able to get out of that, and he was able to go back into this fire and actually bring more people out. However, he was hurt,
Mhm.
obviously. Well, I shouldn't say obviously, but he was hurt.
Yeah.
And he was out of a job, and he was in had a lot of medical issues. So finding this family, which you guys helped us do, you interviewed a lot of different families, people applied, and we looked through a resume. I shouldn't say resume, but application after application. We found this family who really needed this hand up. It's not a
Mhm.
handout. It's breathing room, like you said. It's a way
Yeah.
forward. Does it fix everything? Absolutely not. It's a year.
Sure.
It's only a year,
Yeah.
right? But it's a year. It's 12 mortgage payments. It's 12 rent payments. It's a way to help provide Christmas presents for his young daughters instead of paying a mortgage or paying that rent, right? Some of the things that we get to take for granted,
Yeah.
it's allowing that to happen. So that happened, and then the family was notified that there was something they needed to do. They needed to come in and sign some paperwork for whatever. And they were not clients, and they are not clients, by the way. There was no financial presentation pitched. This had zero to do with us recommending any products or services
Mm.
at all.
Yeah.
Zero, right? So the family comes in, and we had a surprise. We had all the media here. We had all the news stations. We had the Omaha World Herald, which is a newspaper. We had radio stations. We had KFAB, the big 11:10 a.m. KFAB right here in Omaha. They were here. We had a lot of coverage. So they came into our office, and then we were all set up in the conference room. They come back to the conference room, and then they're presented with their I don't want to call it an award, but they were presented
Gift.
with their gift, yeah, of 12 mortgage payments. And the look on their face, the I don't know if it was the disbelief or, you know, the 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 knowing of the blessing that they've just been granted,
Mhm.
was amazing, and the tears, in knowing that we can do something, and knowing that we can help, and knowing that we can be a part of something bigger was really, really, really special.
Yeah.
Now, what did it do for us? Sure, we had great media coverage, and all that fun stuff, and I'm sure that brought business. Can I quantify it? No, I can't quantify. I don't ask them. They heard it from the explosion interview or anything, right? But what I do know is that our staff, our people in the office, they saw us differently as well.
Absolutely.
Right. And
Absolutely.
so you have, our employees that are like, wow, it's amazing. Bill's not just taking it all for themselves and, going on vacation or buying a new car. They're
Mhm.
actually, they just gave this person 12 months of mortgage payments.
Mhm.
Wow. So that helps with the internal morale. How does that translate? Right to our clients, because they're
Yeah.
working with our clients all day long.
That's right. That's
Remember, they're
exactly
working
right.
in the business. I'm working on the business.
That's right.
So I need to make sure that they are, and that's the whole thing about our people here and our staff. I want them to be happy at all times.
Mhm.
I mean, they're very, very important, because if I know they're happy, guess who else is going to be happy?
Yeah,
our clients,
that's exactly right.
right? So it all translates, which is fun.
Yeah. The thing is that you just said it. Everything changes. So within your own office, within your own firm, these are people that I've known for years that have worked for you, and they loved you. They loved your family. They loved working there. And then they see this, and they see that you aren't just showing up when it's convenient. You are showing up when it matters, and that's what people feel, right? People feel that. And what else is really cool about this is that the impact doesn't just stop with the family. It moves throughout the community. So, as an example, one of my close friends, another advisor, she just had her Gradient Gives Back on Tuesday, and I looked at her social media page today. Excuse me, I looked at the local media's social media page today. They're out of Wichita, and in less than 24 hours, there are over 1,000 hearts and over 200 comments. And these comments are not the comments that we all see on social media. There was no ugliness. It was God bless this family. We love this family. What a wonderful blessing for this family. So when I'm saying it's moving through the community, that this that, that has a next level ripple impact. So guess what? Others will reach out to that family and they're going to find out ways that they can help as well. And that's when we talk about these real conversations, these real moments. Like this firm showed up for us. Bill helped when nobody else did. And then when you think about what that does, you're no longer chasing referrals. You're you're not trying to stay top of mind. You are top of mind. You and your firm has created something that no marketing ever will, and that is ultimately trust that has just been earned and not claimed. So what I want to do is I want to challenge those that are listening right now. What would your business look like? What would the culture within your firm look like if your name was associated with hope in your community? If people associated you and your firm with hope, man, that's not financial planning. That's stability. That's relief, support. And like we're talking earlier, family in your community, dad gets injured, can't work, bills are piling up, mortgages due.
Mm.
My gosh, stress is everywhere. And then all of a sudden you step in with Gradient Gives Back. You're covering housing, you're giving them breathing room, and you've changed everything for that family. You've given them time, you've given them dignity back. You've removed all of those pressures off of them. And as I said, as that goes throughout the community, you're no longer just that guy that manages money. And if you're looking for deeper relationships, if you're wanting more referrals, if you're wanting a business that actually truly means something like hope to your community, this is where you do this. This is how you do this. We're not talking about being inspired or motivated. This is about action.
Well, then a number of those nonprofits might actually come to you for their own business.
That's right.
And we do.
You've seen it.
We manage a number of our nonprofits money, and we didn't ask for it. And you mentioned like the referral side, Rob. We don't ask for referrals.
Yeah.
I'm actually terrible at asking for referrals. And back in the day, my referral business was maybe 1%.
Yeah.
And now it's 70+% of our business at least, which is fantastic. And people they come in, and I don't know if they're coming in because of the thing that we did with Saving Grace, a perishable food rescue. I don't know if it was something we did with Nebraska Greats Foundation.
Yeah.
I don't know that, but they're coming in and they want to work. They come in with their statement and they say, here, Rob, Bill, here's my statement, take my money.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, slow your roll.
Right.
We got to see what's going on here.
Yeah.
Right. And it's kind of like, and that's really, really cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And so, yeah, get involved with your people, but more involved than just sponsoring the whole. Get involved, be there, be present, have them on your show, have them on your podcast. You don't have to have a big radio budget to have a podcast, to have stuff go on YouTube. Last I knew, you could put YouTube stuff on for free. I don't know how it
Yeah.
works, but
Yeah.
that's what I understand. I don't think I'd pay anything for it, right? And then if you do, certain things, people will also help you out with those expenses, which is
Yeah.
fantastic. There's all kinds of programs out there.
Yeah.
But you're able to actually really truly give back, and it doesn't have to have a whole bunch of dollars attached to it. That's the amazing part. Just be there, be present, show that you care, show that you have that passion.
You're exactly right. We're talking about how all that matters is action. And I don't know why I've been saying this so much lately, but it just makes so much sense. I mean, the Nike slogan is just do it. And I don't know why it just keeps sticking
Mhm.
out. That's how you get involved. You just do it. Like there's no perfect plan to any of this. Show up. Ask how you can be involved. What one of the things that it holds people back is like, well, I don't know, like how do I do it and when am I going to have time? I promise you with all of my heart, you're never going to have time. You're never going to have time unless you actually just do it. You're going to have to force it in and you're going to have to make it a part of what you do.
And get your family involved.
Oh man,
Get your kids, get your
let's
wife, get your
go.
husband,
Let's go.
get your staff. And then everybody has this big heart that goes into it. It's really freaking cool.
That's right. So start simple, get involved, learn how it works, let the foundation that you're working with guide you. If you get involved with Gradient Gives Back, we are experts at guiding you. Just take the first step. So don't overthink it. Don't add so much complexity to it. And once again, and I promise you this once you do it, this isn't going to be something that you just try. This is all of a sudden going to become a part of your lifeblood, a part of your DNA, a part of what your firm just does. And so don't feel like you have to carry a burden either. This is not a burden.
Mm-mm.
For example, with Gradient Gives Back, this is something that already exists. It already works. It's already changing lives all across the country. And all that you are doing is choosing to show up differently. And so if you are looking, I'm gonna say this. Ask yourself this: if you're listening, are you looking to have a business that people use or a business that people believe in? Because those are two totally different outcomes.
Mhm.
I promise you, I've worked with Bill for almost 15 years now. He has a business that people believe in. And it's because of everything that we're talking about here today. And this is something to where if this hit you today, don't let it sit right now because I heard this a long time ago. Awareness without action is where momentum goes to die.
Mm.
So right now, go out to gradientgivesback.com. Once again, gradientgivesback.com. You could see all the wonderful videos of all of the wonderful families that have been helped all across the country. Learn how it works. See how you can get involved. Start being involved in your community differently because this is bigger than business. This is about who you are, what you stand for, what you want your firm to be recognized as. And this is Bill. This is why I wanted to have you on. Is there? This time flies. Any last closing remarks from you that you think someone should know before we close here?
Yeah, I'd say just, you nailed it, Rob. Be present. You
Uh-huh.
know, be there and truly care. Be there and want to be there.
Yeah,
And watch that transform your business into something that you've never seen before happen.
yeah. You're exactly right. Um, and with my closing on each of my podcasts, I like to do this, and this is to every advisor that's listening right now, or office manager, anyone that's involved in a firm. I just want to say thank you. Um, thank you to you also, Bill. Not just for what you're doing inside of your business, um, but also because of the role that you're playing outside of it as well. That you don't hear it enough. You might not even realize it. You are helping families to make better decisions. You're helping people to feel more secure. There, there are you are bringing clarity into moments that are just absolute disasters, and that matters so much. And the thing is, years from now, your clients aren't going to remember the details of their portfolio, I promise, but they will remember how you showed up. Your community won't know a thing about your product lineup, but they will remember the impact that you made to the community. So for everyone that's listening, that the question isn't should I get involved? The real question that you've got to ask yourself and be honest is what do you want to be known for? What do you want your firm to be known for? Bill, once again, I really appreciate you joining the show. And for anyone that's listening, if any of this resonated with you, be sure to share this podcast with your team, this episode. Send it to another advisor. Start the conversation because if you're looking to win this next decade, it's not about being the smartest. It's about being the most connected in your community, the most trusted, and the most involved. So until next time, stay unfiltered, stay unstoppable. As always, thank you for what you do. I'm Rob Romsburg. Thanks again, Bill.
Thank you.
The opinions herein may be from personal experience and may not necessarily be those of the Gradient Financial Group, its employees, or affiliates. Any results, topics, or outcomes are for informational purposes only. Financial professional use only. Rob Romsburg does not render tax, legal, or accounting advice and is not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any government agency.